Hello everybody, Aki here, and welcome to Corpse Party D2 Zero Hope. This is currently the the third version of the demo that is out right now. Demo version 3, it comes with the full story, and any other versions past that, it's gonna add more CGs and stuff, I think. But I know it's been a while. I know I sound tired. It is currently 1 in the morning. I just finished packing to head out to Atlanta for the weekend for my sister's wedding, and I wanted to record something. I know it's been a while, but I want to record this because Corpse Party is a pretty big game in on this channel, and it seems to be one of the most popular franchises that I've played through that you guys actually enjoy. And if you haven't seen the other D2 series, I'll leave a link in the description. I think I did D2 Depths of Despair and what was the other one? The one with the hospital. But Zero Hope, as it says here, it's an indirect sequel to Depths of Despair, and it is a sequel to Corpse Party Zero, which we've done way back when. That was with the Hasegawa sisters. And how this ties into the other ones, how it ties into Depths of Despair, it takes place a year after the Mended Souls ending. And if you don't know that ending, you can go see the playthrough I did of it. I did both endings for it, and it connects to Corpse Party Zero by 7 years after the B ranking on Corpse Party Zero, which I think is Kaori being the only one that gets out. Yeah, because I think that one's it, but I'm not sure. But Zero Hope is focusing on Kaori. She's coming back with a new group of students, and let's see how this plays out. Hey, that's a CG for Book of Shadows. Oh my god, I'm sorry, I'm pretty slow tonight. Let me turn down the volume. Anyways, alright, let's continue. I think this is one of the new students. Today is such a great day. Am I pressing the right buttons? Today is the day that my best friend agreed to come to my house after school for a sleepover. And now that our boring classes are out of the way, we can just hang out and have fun for the rest of the day. I was so excited that I felt like taking my friend by the hand and dragging her along with me. Hinamatsubara. Come on, let's go already. Koharu Akiyama. Hey, Aki. Hey, wait for me. I barely stopped to switch my shoes before I burst out of the school entrance into the courtyard. Looking around and relishing my freedom from the school building, I took notice of someone standing in the school courtyard. She looked older than a student, and she wasn't wearing a uniform anyway, but she didn't look like any of my teachers either. The woman seemed to be waiting for someone, since she ignored most of the dispersing students and seemed focused on examining something in the distance. I suddenly recognized the woman's face. She had been visiting quite a lot over the past few months. I'd seen her waiting in the courtyard at least once a week, looking off into the distance like she was now. My friend came to my side, still slipping on her shoe as she stumbled toward me. You could have waited. I waved off the complaint and pointed at the woman in the courtyard. Hey, isn't that her again? My friend frowned and looked at the woman. I followed her gaze and realized that most of the students were ignoring the woman. Hey, you're right. It's that woman that started showing up at the end of last term, isn't it? What is she doing? I crossed my arms and thought for a moment. It didn't take me long to come to a decision. I'll try asking. What? No, don't. There's nothing to worry about. It'll be fine. I grinned at my friend to reassure her and walked over to where the woman was standing. Excuse me? The woman blinked. What is she wearing? But she didn't seem surprised. She gave a soft smile and looked me in the eyes. Yes? I keep seeing you standing here after school. Let's out. I was just wondering, why is that? Are you here to pick someone up or something? The woman's smile weakened and she turned to look at something in the distance again. Yes, in a manner of speaking. The woman turned back to me and grinned. I wonder, do you know this ghost story about Kisaragi Academy? I almost took a step back. Why was she talking about a ghost story all of a sudden? Huh? A ghost story? What kind of ghost story? No, I haven't heard of Kisaragi Academy at all. The woman frowned and looked sad for a moment. Then her grin returned and she chuckled. Well then, I'll tell you. In a town not far from here, there is a school named Kisaragi Academy. Back before the current schoolhouse was built, there was another school in its place. One rainy after-school night at this old schoolhouse, there was a girl who was still there after everyone else had gone home. Dun, 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 dun. I think I remember. This is the one where the ending where Kaori becomes a teacher, and she keeps spreading the rumors and stuff about heavenly host and yeah. Chapter 1: A Rainy After School Night. I was about to say, is that Seiko? It can't be Seiko. Misaki Asahara. Hey, Tsukiko. Tsukiko. Is the booth ready to be put together? I still need to unpack some of these pieces. I'll check on the boys then. I turned away from Tsukiko and walked over to where Tayama and Iwakura were working. How are things coming along? Oh, he's so cool. I bet he does like kendo and stuff. I mean, look at the way he wears his jacket. He probably does kendo and has all the girls offering him the puss. Tayama looked up from a box of French-made costumes inside. Well, Miyahara never took the costumes out of the boxes she got them in, so we might need to think of a way to smooth them out before we hang them up. On the bright side, all the desks are pushed to where they need to be. This guy looks like a delinquent. I'm gonna guess maybe he's the Yoshiki of our story. Iwakura scoffed and tossed the lid of one of the boxes aside. Like, that's some great accomplishment. Hey, it's done at least. Still, I wish the people who actually wanted this maid cafe were here to work on it. The festival is tomorrow. I would much rather go home and sleep so I can be awake for the festival. We all knew that Miyahara and Muranaka weren't gonna put any real effort. Maybe, but they should have told us that we were supposed to do what? Maybe, but they should have told us what we were supposed to do sooner so we wouldn't be here the night before the festival, unpacking boxes and putting everything together ourselves. Anyway, see what you can do about the costumes. I'll get back to making the booth. I left the boys to their work and headed over to where Tsukiko was sitting. Everything here? Seems like it. Tsukiko handed me a sheet of folded paper from the box. I took it and unfolded it to see what looked like assembly instructions. At least it came with an instructions sheet. We'd be here all night if we had to guess how this was supposed to fit together. I think Miyahara and Muranaka wanted us to stay here all night. I sighed when I considered what Tsukiko was suggesting. Miyahara and Muranaka did seem to have some sort of grudge against Tsukiko, and so it wasn't unlikely that they picked her for decorating duty out of spite. Well, they didn't remove the instruction sheet. Why do I keep messing that up? So we might be able to get home before it gets too late. Let's get started. Tsukiko nodded and we both started reaching for pieces of the unassembled booth. Before I could grab anything, the room suddenly went dark. The hell? Did the power go out? A thunderclap ominously shot through the night as everyone went silent. While I waited for my eyes to adjust to the darkness, I looked over to the door and noticed that the light was out in the hallway. It might be a power outage. There's no light in the hallways either. Everyone went quiet. The only sound I could hear was the rain hitting the windows. Then I heard someone stand up. Did anyone hear that? Another moment of silence passed as we tried to hear what Tsukiko had heard. I'm not hearing anything. It's probably the wind. Shh, listen. I held my breath and strained my ears. After a moment, I started to hear something. Is that an organ? Do we have an organ at this school? And who'd be in the music room this late at night anyway? We don't have an organ. I stood up and listened to the tone, which was gradually getting louder. Doesn't it sound fake? I was trying to focus on the sound when suddenly it cut out. In its place, a knocking came at the hallway door. Someone's at the door. No shit. That was rather brash of you, Iwakura. That's his name, right? Yeah. We were all quiet while the knocking came again. I felt a lump of fear in my throat, and I decided someone had to see who it was. I have to sneeze. Give me a second, Misaki. Or, yeah, that's your name, okay. I'm sorry, guys, I think I'm getting a little bit of a cold. I'll check to see who it is. So, are we playing Misaki? I guess we are. Yeah, I guess we are. I walked over to the door and was reaching out for the handle when I heard a distorted voice from the other side.
Sister Dearest.
Huh?
Sister Dearest.
I hesitated with my hand hovering over the handle. First, there was the strange organ music, and now there was this distorted voice. I felt like opening this door would lead to my death, if this were some sort of horror movie. I shook that thought away and flung the door open as quickly as I could, and I'm fucking dead. A thunderclap sounded at that moment, overpowering the noise of the door slamming against the wall. When I came back to my senses, I realized that I had tripped and fell on my butt in shock. The lights were back on, and standing in the doorway was my homeroom teacher, chuckling to herself with a phone in her hand. Did I surprise you, Asahara? Miss Hasegawa! Miss Hasegawa walked into the classroom and faced the others, indicating her phone. I was in the staff office when the power outage hit, so I decided I'd check on you four. When I reached our hallway, I thought I'd see if I could surprise you, so I played some old recordings with my phone on speaker. I propped myself up on my hands and got to my feet. You certainly surprised me. I don't think any of us expected that, Miss Hasegawa. Miss Hasegawa chuckled and put her phone away. I apologize. I didn't expect the power to turn back on right when I got here. My surprise would have worked better than intended. Yeah, you could say that. Miss Hasegawa looked around at our festival decorations and frowned. Are you having trouble with your festival preparations? A little. We didn't know where the boxes with the supplies were stored until this morning. Miss Hasegawa nodded slowly and moved toward one of the unopened boxes of decorations. I'll help you get these set up. I'm sure you don't want to stay here all night. You don't have to, Miss Hasegawa. I'm sure you have work to do. Miss Hasegawa flashed me a smile. It's nothing that can't wait. Besides, I can't bother you with one last ghost story before you go home if you're here all night. Now, can I? I should have guessed that Miss Hasegawa had more reason to help us than to bail us out of all this work that the others forced on us. Alright, then let's get these decorations up. It's already past 8, so we should get going. We set to work on the festival preparations with our teacher pitching in. We made progress more quickly than I originally expected. It took us the better part of 2 hours, but sometime after 9:30, we put the final touches on the maid cafe our class wanted for the school festival. I'll have to talk with the class about this the day after tomorrow. The students in each homeroom should be able to complete their projects on time without any help from the faculty. I'm disappointed that my first homeroom class in my career left everything up to a few students working the night before the festival. I don't blame you for it, of course, but I hope that you keep this in mind during the festival preparations next year. We all assured Miss Hasegawa that we wouldn't forget what we had to go through, and her expression softened. Very well, before I let you go, would you mind listening to a story? No? No. Why? Every time it's the lights go off, it's a prank, and then there's thunderstorms outside, and then there's some smartass that's like, hey, you wanna hear a scary story? I know you do. The atmosphere calls for it. And they never learn. How long is it? Oh, it's not long. I'm only asking for a few minutes of your night. I looked around at the corner. At the corner? I looked around at the others. Tsukiko shrugged at me and I turned back to Miss Hasegawa. We'll listen to the story before we go. Miss Hasegawa smiled and walked over to the light switch. After turning off the light, she pulled out her phone and held it so that it gave an eerie glow over her face.
Are you ready?
We all nodded.
Years ago, on a rainy after-school night, not unlike this one, there was a girl about your age, waiting in this very classroom for her older sister. The older sister's club had run past its usual time, and the sun had gone down. Almost everyone had gone home for the night. While the girl waited, there was a power outage at the school. All the lights went dark, and the girl could barely see anything. The girl worried that her older sister had forgotten her, and ran into the hallway to look for her. In the hallway, the girl found her older sister, who apologized for running late at the club meeting. The older sister had forgotten something in her own classroom, and had her little sister follow her there. In the darkness, the younger sister couldn't see what her older sister retrieved from the classroom until she was up close. When the girl came closer to see what it was, what do you think she saw? There was a brief silence before we realized that Miss Hasegawa expected us to answer. Was it a knife or something? That's how these stories kind of go. You aren't far off. The girl saw that her beloved sister had taken a rusty metal bar from one of the desks, broken off in such a way that the end was sharp. When the girl backed away in fright, the older sister asked her, "Why are you afraid?" The girl asked, "What is this for?" pointing at the metal bar. The older sister walked toward the girl and replied, "It's for killing gullible young girls." The girl then realized that it wasn't her sister at all, that it was someone else who was holding the metal bar. I'm sure you can guess what happened to the girl after that, but that isn't the end of the story. An hour later, the older sister went to her little sister's homeroom to look for her after finishing up at her club meeting. By this time, the power was back on, so she saw that her sister wasn't there. So the older sister went to her own homeroom, thinking that her sister may have gone there to wait for her. But what she found was far more terrible. Her little sister lay in a pool of her own blood, a message scrawled on the wall telling the older sister what had happened. The older sister, understandably, called the police. But when they arrived, the body, the blood, and the message were all gone. To this day, the girl is still listed as missing, since no one ever found a body. Some say that the girl still haunts the school, following lone students that remain behind. Remain? The fuck? Remain behind on rainy nights. Miss Hasegawa paused. I felt tense from the darkness and the creepy story. Peeking at the others from the corner of my eye, it seemed all of them were just as tense as I was. Suddenly, Miss Hasegawa switched off her phone's light. And that's the story. Miss Hasegawa walked over to the light switch while we were all blinded by the sudden darkness. The lights turned on again and Miss Hasegawa smiled at us. It seems hard to believe, doesn't it, that a girl from the school could go missing and never be found. It seems more possible than some of the other stories you've told us. That's just 'cause you're gullible, just like the younger sister in the story. People go missing every year, Iwakura. It's not that strange. Yeah, then explain the bloody. Yeah, well then explain the blood going away. I don't know why I'm giving him like a not French, like a Brit Aussie thing going on. That does seem rather. Oh, I'm sad. Yeah, I still don't buy it. I pressed the wrong button. I refrained from commenting on the story, not sure whether Miss Hasegawa was interested in this critique of her storytelling ability. Well, I am getting a call. No, thank you. Sorry about that. It is fucking 1:22 in the morning. Why are you guys getting a call so late?
Well, I need to head home before my parents get angry at me. I'll see you all tomorrow. Stay safe, Asahara. See you tomorrow, Misaki. Yeah, see ya. Oh, it's the asshole. I don't like that guy. I waved to everyone as I walked out of the classroom. Miss Hasegawa said goodbye to the others and left the room with me. Be careful not to lose your way, Asahara. Miss Hasegawa gave me a strange grin as she walked toward the staff office, leaving me alone. I headed down toward the entrance, trying to put all thoughts of the festival out of my mind. Another one? Really? Are you serious? So that I could come to it fresh tomorrow. I was almost at the shoe lockers when suddenly the lights went out. Another power outage? I sighed and took another step toward the shoe lockers before I heard a whisper behind me. Sister, dearest. I heard giggling from behind me and felt a cold breath hit the back of my neck. I turned around to face the sound, but there was nothing there. Was it the wind? Maybe a window was open. I tried to put the feeling out of my mind. I turned around to see a face staring back at me from behind long, stringy black hair. A thunderclap sounded through the hallway at that moment, and my vision was flooded with light. And then everything faded to darkness. Chapter 1, a rainy after-school night, cleared. And I think I'm gonna end it here for this episode, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry for my low energy. It's 1 in the morning. I don't want to be too loud because people are gonna get angry. I got a flight at 11 a.m., but I'm gonna try and squeeze this in before I leave. So again, thank you guys so much for sitting down and watching me play Corpse Party D2 Zero Hope. If you want to play this game yourself, I'll leave a link in the description. Remember, it's only the 3rd version of the demo. There's going to be more demos further along for a complete game, but as of now, it's only version 3. And yeah, follow me on Twitter. I stream on Twitch and YouTube. Tumblr, I'm obsessed with Overwatch at the moment. And that's all, I guess. This is Aki. Have a great day, and remember to always stay safe.
Don't tell me, baby, 'cause I don't really wanna know what happened last night. Oh no, just say it wasn't so. Just say you love me and let me fall back into sleep. And when I wake up, you say I had a real